Hello and welcome to the Rugby League POMcast. We are back with our NRL edition. It is, of course, myself, Johnny Lou, and he's back. He's had a little hiatus. It is Mr. Sam Leckie. How's it going up in Brizzy?
Jonathan Lewis, I'm very well. I'm actually in Jacob's Well for the next couple of weeks, which is, I would call it like an outpost. I don't know. It's Logan by the water, but it's a nice little spot. I'm house sitting for the parents and looking after the dogs. So got the house to myself for State of Origin decider, which is probably for the best. If I'm totally honest,
You can turn the house down.
All of the emotions will be kept confined to this one little lounge room that I'm sitting in right now, which is probably a good thing for the rest of the world, and my job prospects going forward.
Yeah, there's gonna be some cushion throwing, I'm sure, and nail biting
that's the ottoman that I was talking about. That nearly went through the window at the decider last year. So, yeah,
that is absolutely perfect. Let's go.
Got to roll with it. You got to take your time.
We got to roll with it.
You got to say what you say. Don't let any fucker get in your way.
We are, of course, all on the Oasis train. We were having a conversation literally just before we started recording that we are absolutely buzzing for the Australia section of that tour. Have you seen Lewis Capaldi's just announced an Australian tour?
I don't mind Lewis Capaldi. I won't go to his concert, but good on him, I guess. I don't know what you want me to add there.
Fair enough. I thought you were going to say, yes, I'm a big fan, I absolutely adore him, but, you know.
He seems like a guy I'd like to have a beer with.
Oh, mate, yeah. I went on a date with one girl who, I think it was like her brother or something was in the Gaelic football team or something, or hurling maybe. She was Northern Irish, and not Harry Styles, Niall Horan was like a cousin's best mate or a brother's best mate or whatever. And
but that's everyone in Ireland, right?
Him and Lewis Capaldi were in the pub after like the grand final of hurling.
Yeah,
we're having beers with him. I was like, mate, I wish I was him.
Yeah,
they look like two class lads we'd love to have a beer with.
Oh, yeah.
But, just like Noel and Liam, I'm pretty certain they would be as well.
Have to have separate beers.
Yeah, well, actually, seeing the clips of them...
They look alright. Apparently they're... We've already derailed the podcast.
This is normally what we do at the end.
Apparently they've got like separate green rooms, separate after parties, separate hotels and stuff. So I'm hoping that means that they just won't fight and they'll make it to Australia. Like, that's my big concern, is that they won't make it out of Europe.
Seeing them come out hand in hand, there's no way they won't.
Yeah, that's adorable.
But we are now going to go back to what the podcast is all about. We've derailed, we've gone full and truly. Normally you got to wait till the 40th minute to get the half-time point, but no, you've got it early. But it's State of Origin.
Yeah.
It's State of Origin. You're wearing your Blues jersey.
Yeah, there's no neutral broadcasting this week. This is the 2005 one, the Andrew Johns Johns series. I think this is my uncle's, but it's in good.
The OG.
Yeah, it's in good condition.
Very good then.
Yeah, but I have seen them in Rebel as well. I love how Rebel sell the retro ones because it's good quality. But yeah, it'll be on Wednesday night. I'm so pumped, man. It's gonna be, but I'm not like I was watching Freddie and the Eighth on last Tuesday. I think it comes out on Tuesdays last week. And Danica Mason, who's hosting it now, was like to Joey and Freddie, and like these are two guys that, well, one's coached and played, the other one played and was part of the camps with Freddie. Like, she asked them, do you guys get nervous? And they're like, oh, it's normally about a day out. And I'm like, that's how I feel. I'm as far from State of Origin as any human in Australia, but it's just like you get nervous, you get giddy for it. It's I am pumped. But also, I just don't know. We'll get into the preview, but it's going to be it's Queensland in these games scare me.
Yeah, and especially when we get to the team news in a little bit. But I want to talk to you about that because you didn't go to the decider last year, did you?
No, I didn't. I did not.
You watched it in the pub, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to the. I watched it here. I went to the 22 decider at Suncorp. That was the Ben Hunt one. And I went to the 2020 decider, the COVID series, the Wayne Bennett series, the Brenko and Edric Lee series, the Corey Allen series back then. But yeah, there's nothing. Just a decider, no matter where it is, whether it's in Sydney or whether it's at Suncorp Stadium, there's nothing like a decider because it's almost like the rest of the rugby league season doesn't matter beyond what happens in that 80 minutes. And I feel like that's what we're going to see once again. Like it just goes, there's pretty much only been one that I can remember. And it was the 15 decider where Queensland won 52-6. Other than that, they're always such tight games. And literally I decided on a moment in the game.
Yeah. Well, last year was proper pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
Like it was, I think it was pretty much a try a piece.
I think it was 4-4. It was 4-2. It was 4-2. It was penalty goals.
And then points in conversions, and
then Lomax kicked one.
8 minutes or something.
Yeah, that was when Connor Watson came on the field. Got the arsiest offload you've ever seen in rugby league.
Yeah.
Like he dropped the ball and it rolled to. Did it roll to Crichton? No. Crichton offloaded it, picked up by Watson, passed to Luai who broke the line, and then I remember thinking like he'd passed it too early to Bradman Best. I was like, Kalen Pong has played this perfectly. He's going to bounce off Luai and bounce out to Bradman Best and make the tackle. And then Best broke that and had like half his face hanging off because he had been hit with an elbow or something earlier on in the game and scored. And then Mitch Moses scored his try and it was over from there. But like, yeah, just a moment in games. And the 2022 decider was like Queensland had dominated, but it was like New South Wales were ahead, but Queensland had the momentum. And then it was the Kalen Ponga try in that 22 decider. Remember where he bounced off the right foot, put them ahead, and then New South Wales had their chances and ended up with the Ben Hunt intercept, I guess you call it, off the Nathan Cleary kick and ran the whole field. So like just those moments that turn the game, because it's like both teams are balls to the wall for 60, 70 minutes, and it's whoever blinks. Like under the fatigue, under all the pressure, the crowd will be heaving. It's whoever blinks in that moment, and it's very, very hard to get it back from that point.
Yeah, exactly that. And then, well, all big games are decided in them little moments, and this is why we adore this sort of series as well, because there's so much passion, so much anger, so much hatred, and in the end it all boils down to them little plays, them little chances that someone and that one person will write themselves into history.
Yeah.
They will go out there and they will have the headlines wrote all about them, either for the good reasons or the bad reasons, as we've seen even in last year's series where game one, so Alihi was the villain.
Yep.
And then all the way through, and then in game 3 ended up being, I think, Liam Martin got man of the match. Was it?
Crichton, Angus Crichton, man of the match.
Was it Angus Crichton?
Yeah.
And then I think it was a second row. I can't remember which one. And it was just, but Crichton's story last year was incredible.
Yeah.
When he came back. That was a fairy tale in itself. But let's stick to this series and let's go through the team news. We're going to leave Queensland until second because they're the ones with probably the more talking about in the actual squad.
Yeah.
Because New South Wales are unchanged, bar the 18th man. So we have pretty much an unchanged
Utuikamanu. Stefano. Just call him Stefano.
So I'm overthinking it.
It's a lot easier than it looks.
There you go. Just don't read. Sorted. It's like Fasa Malawi.
Yeah. Oh.
Sort of Just
I know,
don't read it.
I know plenty of broadcasters that when he first came into the game, just could not get their mouth around. Could not get their mouth around his name, and then they'd call him Big Tino, and the family don't like it when. Like the Fasur Malaawi family don't like it when they say Big Tino because it's like
probably disrespect.
Just say the name. Just say the name. How hard is it?
Yeah. Well, it's awful if you're dyslexic.
Yeah.
But they are unchanged. The 18th man, Matt Burton, has dropped down out of the side. He played at the weekend at centre, and Jacob Kiraz came in at 18th man. That is because Toho was basically a doubt for this game.
Yeah, he's got a niggling knee issue.
Yeah, niggling knee issue, but he did play the week after
the Dogs, the Panthers Dogs game.
Even though he was,
and he was in doubt. He was in doubt before game 2 as well.
Yeah.
So
I think he'll probably play.
Yeah, I don't think
precautionary.
I think we'd know by now, to be honest, if he wasn't going to play. But yeah, Kira's in the side, and I mean he's earned his spot. I think the thing about Laurie Daly is his last coaching tenure when he had the one series win, but he's a fiercely loyal person, like to his core, Laurie Daly, and but because obviously New South Wales were losing, he had to make changes. And it was something that I have heard him talk about it before. It didn't sit well with him, having to drop people and make a lot of changes. But I think he's very fortunate that he's in a position now where, for the most part, the New South Wales side picks itself, right? Like, you know who your halves are going to be. And if one of them drops off, you know who's going to be the one that comes in. And that's ultimately what happened with when Moses went down in the game 2 camp. The back line's not going to change. The majority of the forward pack, like Max King's done nothing wrong to not get a shot in the decider. He was good enough in game 1 to get that shot. The only question was really, does Tuikamanu get a game? Because his output, when he went on the field, there was definitely a drop off in intensity from New South Wales, and we spoke about that in the review. And then his name is obviously going to be the one that people think of when you think about the Nathan Cleary no try, where he went through after Stefano was standing in the line and got in the way of Pat Carrigan. So, I mean, there was a lot of things that he didn't do right, but that's the thing with players of this standard, of Origin standard, and especially someone like Stefano who's just gone to Melbourne, is when you don't do things right, you then get you have the opportunity to better or to make those things right, if you know what I mean. And I guess that's Laurie Daly's given him that chance. The only one was going to be Kalamatangi, but he had some worries about his fitness as well with the cheekbone. But I think for Laurie Daly, the side pretty much picks itself, and that was going to be the only change he really made. And I think continuity for New South Wales is the best thing, because the reality is in game 2, they still showed that Queensland can't go with them.
And I think that's
when they hold the ball.
The changes being made to Queensland's squad.
Yes.
Has been
New South Wales showed that they are on paper the better side in this series, and scoring 3 tries in the second half to get back into that game. Oh no, it was 4 tries in the end, wasn't it? Because the conversions. To get back into that game when they held the ball and didn't give away stupid penalties, that they have they've got what it takes to get over the top of Queensland. There was too many points to chase in the end, so there was no real reason for Laurie to pull any wholesale changes to the side, or any changes to the side whatsoever.
And literally, and if Zach Lomax had different boots on,
it's the balls.
The game's won, innit?
It's the ball.
Affect Valentine Holmes, though.
No.
But literally, that's the thing, innit? And we talked about them moments and them things that change earlier on in the episode. That is one thing that is so important in our game that probably doesn't get enough respect until games like Game 2 happen. Where, take the 2 when you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Them small margins are pinnacle, and it's kind of... I think there was an opportunity in the first half where they could have took the 2 and they didn't, and then they ended up losing by 2 points. So, like, you know, even though you're losing, sometimes even just taking the 2 just to get the scoreboard ticking over when you can in these fine games can change things. But we go on to now kind of, we'll talk about the Queensland side, because that's where I said it's very, very juicy, very, very interesting. You said in our review episode that Mr. Papa Leckie himself got a phone call from Billy to see if he could do one more. And that was confirmed, as he is named now at prop forward. He is doing one more before he leaves the NRL, reportedly.
Well, did you hear his press conference the other day? He was like, well, end of the day, I want to keep playing NRL, and if another team offers me a contract and Canberra aren't going to, then I'm going to stay in the NRL if the opportunity's there. So I can't see him playing in anything other than green and maroon. But it terrifies me as a New South Wales fan, Josh Papali'i being in that side.
It's scary, especially in the career best form he's doing.
Yeah.
But I have absolutely no doubt that he will not be in the NRL next season, because I just think he can't play in any other colours. The week before, Ricky Stewart basically said he is leaving the NRL, and he's joining Super League. So, you know, we will see if the interview is just smoke and mirrors to throw off the scent, or if it is a legit cause. But he is a player that can change games. He is a player that can create moments. His offload game this season has been just as superb as his meter making. His thing has been averaging over 100 metres a game.
Yeah.
And he's been doing like between 40 and 60 minutes a game. He's in the fittest he's probably been for 4 or 5 years. Whether that's just his mantra and his kind of, look, I'm having one last blast.
Yeah. And
that's even scarier for New South Wales fans. If it is I'm having one last blast, what the hell is he going to produce?
Yeah. And I don't know, like, the other thing is, and I heard, who was it talking about this? I think it was Dan and Kemp talking about this, that he's been training with the best forward pack in the comp too. That's the other factor. Like, he trains against Hudson Young, trains against Corey Horsburgh, trains against Joseph Tarpanet. Like, that's what has, and I think that's a factor in why he's playing such good footy at the moment. And you look at the big threat to Queensland from that New South Wales side, and it's Payne Haas and his ability to get post-contact meters, get quick play the balls, and allow Nathan Cleary the time that he needs to manipulate the game off the back of that. Like, that Payne Haas is the most important player in the New South Wales side, and all you need out of Josh Papali'i is 20-25 minutes to just hammer Payne Haas, just go after him. And
tire him out.
Yeah, and Papali'i will do that job, and I can't remember a game for Queensland where he's let them down playing in that jersey, whether it be in the back row or since he put on a bit of size and moved into the front row. Like, he's always aimed up when he played State of Origin. And hearing him talk the other day, hearing Billy Slater talk about the call up to him the other day, hearing Munster and Harry Grant talk about what he's brought to the camp just being there. It's an inspired call from Billy Slater. And we've spoken about this. He's made his Origin career so far on making tough calls. Like, he made the call to drop Josh Papali'i from State of Origin. Well, told him, hey, you're not going to be selected. We'll give you the opportunity to come out to retire so that it doesn't look like you've been dropped. Like, that's a tough call. He dropped Kalen Ponga initially in favour of Reece Welsh. He dropped Dane Gagai from State of Origin. Like, Billy Slater has not been afraid to make these big calls, and this is another one, and he just needs 25 of the best out of the big fella.
You spoke about one player in particular in Gagai that he dropped from the squad, and there's another shock name because there's a newcomer coming in at centre. Val Holmes has stuck to his wing spot. He hasn't moved in one, and they haven't brought in Tuilagi from North Queensland like I expected them to do. It was Shibasaki, the journeyman, you can call him. Even though he's still only young, he's still a journeyman in terms of
big time
NRL. I think, is he 3 or 4 clubs now?
Well, he started at the Bronx, then was at the Cowboys, played one game for Souths, then went to the Knights, went to Japanese rugby, so you won't count that, but I mean that's a journey in itself, and then back to the Broncos via Townsville. So yeah, I think you can call him a journeyman. It's all
26.
Yeah. So yeah.
Journeyman.
Yeah.
Oh, 27. Sorry.
Yeah. Well.
Like he's young for a journeyman.
Yeah. He Well, they needed a centre because they picked Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow at fullback, which I think was the right call.
That was going to be another point we were going to get on to.
Yeah.
Hammer's gone to fullback because Walsh didn't make the squad. He's
18th man. Well, I think
he'll still get his fee.
I think the I'll start with the Hammer call. It's the right decision to make because you want that continuity throughout the whole series. And let's be honest, Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow is probably the informed fullback in the comp at the moment. You look across, other than James Tedesco, probably.
4 tries.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yep.
Then he played, and it was like a hat trick a couple of games before. 4 tries the game before that. He's got something like 13 tries in like 5 games.
And you look at the way that like you bring Josh Papali'i in, who's going to offload the ball. Tino Fasuamala-Awi offloads the ball. You've got 2 halves that like to run the ball and will be able to get quick play the balls. Who do you want off the back of that? Someone that bounces up in the middle of the field, which is Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow. But they make that decision to put him to fullback.
Cowboys Junior.
Yeah. They make that decision to move him to fullback, so they needed to find a centre. And like you mentioned, Murray Taulagi seemed like the logical option, but I think he's got some injury concerns as well, some soft tissue issues. So you look around the NRL and it's always sort of been a position for Queensland that hasn't had the greatest depth. Like I remember the years where it was GI and Justin Hodges, but behind that, who was really there? And then you had Will Chambers coming through, you had Dane Gagai coming through. It's never been a position where they've had a lot of depth though, which is why Robert Toya got picked in game 1 after 10 NRL games. And now after, I think 50 games, for around that vicinity, 50 games, Gemart Shibasaki, gets the call up. And we had on the show
he does the basics right. That's
he does defensively.
And he scores.
Defensively, he's going to be marking up against Latrell Mitchell, and he just makes his tackles. And Billy Slater spoke about that, and the reasons for bringing him in is that he's a strong defensive centre. But I just love the story. Like it's what Origin is built on, is stories like this one. And we had Terry Campese on the show today, who coached him and coached him at New South Wales legend, played 1 game, and coached him at the Townsville Blackhawks. And like I've heard Shibasaki talk about it this week too, that he was ready to give the game away. He was happy playing Queensland Cup footy and working in a job as a mentor to some of the young Indigenous kids up in North Queensland. And it was an away trip for the Broncos. They came up to play the Cowboys in Townsville, and he caught up with Pat Carrigan and a few of the other guys that he played under 20s footy with. And like Shibasaki in the 20s, I remember he was sort of in that era of under 20s where you had the likes of Ponga coming through, Anari Tuala coming through at the Cowboys, Carrigan, Shibasaki, those sort of guys at the Broncos. And he was a part of a really, really strong group of juniors, and he was one of the standouts, but just never quite cracked it. But the Broncos boys went up to Townsville and said, hey, come down to Brisbane, give it a crack. Broncos gave him a train and trial deal. He turned up to pre-season well and truly overweight and was sent out of training, but to his credit, knuckled down and nailed down a starting spot for the Broncos, where he's been one of the standouts for them this year and been a big part of their turnaround in the last month or so, and's been rewarded with a Queensland jersey. And there's no reason why he isn't going to do a good job for Queensland. And it's just an awesome story. So like his journey is just, and he could very well cap it off with being a victorious Origin player.
Yeah, and like if you are going to have someone make the debut in the decider, it's probably best that it is a centre.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not someone who's heavily reliant on, say, like wingers have to do the hard yards, etc. Centres do as well, but it's not something that is like all the focus is on him. Like a centre's never the main focus. Wingers, if they drop a couple of balls, they're in the headlines. etc. So it's probably a good position to come into. And like you said, does the basics right, defensively incredibly solid, and he just needs to shave off his tash.
I love it. It's awesome. The goatee.
Oh yeah, sorry, the goatee, not his tash, his bloody horrific, whatever you want to call it.
You're just jealous. I'm jealous too. I can't grow that sort of facial. I can't grow that sort of facial hair.
This is about 10 days. It's like
I'm about the same.
A bit of shade.
I'm about the same. My issue is it gets patchy. Like there's bits that just don't grow.
I just don't like the itch.
Which is embarrassing as a man.
Which is a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also, we can see that Trent Liero has gone back into 13. He wasn't 13 last time, was he?
Yeah, he was. That case Carrigan got dropped to the bench after game one.
Carrigan on. Yeah. Sorry.
I reckon they pull
Yeah.
I reckon they pull a late change and start Carrigan.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. I've heard some people talk about it, and it just makes sense to like you front load that because the New South Wales front row rotation off the bench has been pretty underwhelming. Spencer Leniu hasn't had his best series or best season really for the entire in NRL or State of Origin, and we spoke about Utuikamanu. If you can get off to a flyer with Carrigan, Tino, and Josh Papali'i in the starting pack in the middle of the field, you can very well set the game up through that. If you dominate New South Wales early like that, the bench has been suspect for New South Wales. I mean, we spoke about the bench being scary before game one, and it's been a little bit of a letdown. I'll be honest. I like New South Wales need a lot more out of that bench. To win this game.
Watson changed the game when he came on, as he always seems to do.
Yeah.
But like I said, Leniu hasn't been his explosive best off the bench. Hudson Young's done a solid job, but he's not exactly tore up trees. And Atika Manu, we've mentioned multiple times. And then in the extended squad, Lindsay Smith, Brandon Best came in for them. Not really like it matters, and Hopgood and Kerr. And then they also invited a few youngsters to join the camp.
Our man.
See, Isaiah Katoa. Is that? It's Isaiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Isaiah. Isaiah Katoa came in to shadow along with a couple others that are in like the 19 to 21 age category.
Wasn't Cody Ramsey again, was it?
The main one. Who?
Wasn't Cody Ramsey again, was it?
I don't know. But there was a few names that just there to shadow because they're the future of the sport.
I saw the photo of Isaiah Katoa and Nathan Cleary standing alongside each other, and I was like, "Oh, I don't mind." Look, I would love to have Mitch Moses in the side for this, for game 2 and for game 3, but I tell you what. Someone really excites me about having Isaiah Katoa in that team.
The kicking game would be unreal.
Yeah.
He is. Survive that kicking game.
He's just on NRL. Like, did you see the try he set up for Cody Nikorima?
Yeah.
He bamboozled Campbell Graham, who we always talk about being the best defensive centre in the game.
Broke his ankles.
And you got Campbell Graham shooting up out of the line and standing there like it's in no man's land because this kid this is what like the respect that this kid demands already. He's going to a 31-year-old Cody Nikorima who's played 150 NRL games. I'm going to put the ball in this gap. You're going to run in it. And just pops it up. Oh, he is my favourite player at the moment. Like I literally only watch like the Dolphins.
Dolphins are the most
love
exciting team.
They are,
and it's a shadow of a doubt.
And it's him. It's because of him. Like what?
Wolf ball.
Yeah, wolf ball. Yeah. Noel's ball next year.
Noel's. Mate, honest to God, that if they add Morgan Knowles, which they are doing, into that side, it's gonna be that next year they win.
Think about all the forwards that are missing.
The NRL next week.
And like you're welcome Gilbert back, you're welcome Flegler back, you're welcome Safidi back. Like
Yeah, I had no.
You reckon Plath back?
Got Josh
Morgan
Kerr,
Knowles. Yeah.
Mate, that pack.
Scary.
We'll get onto that next year, but they are my tip next year to win the grand final. They're my tip now to win the grand final because I've already put a bet on it. So
you're biased. You are biased.
Mate, I always will be indebted to Christian Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be the next Queensland coach as well. He'll add that. He'll be Dolphins, Queensland, and Tonga.
He'll coach the Kangaroos.
He'll do all three.
He'll coach the Kangaroos on that tour.
Tonga. He'll never leave that Tonga out.
He'll never leave his Katoa. See, that's scary.
Literally, mate. So we go into it. We've mentioned obviously the absentees that have been dropped. We've mentioned, of course, the incomings and also the people that have stayed. We've also got to mention the guy that you predicted would win them that second test, and that is, of course, Mr. Kurt Capewell, who has obviously
oh my God,
saved his spot in that starting lineup. He'll probably do the full 80 because if his defensive efforts continue like they did in that second game, then could well be the changer. Even his attacking output was good, but him and Shibasaki on the same.
That's a real shutdown.
You'd assume.
I don't know. I think it's yeah. Is it going to? Yeah. So it'll be Capewell and Shibasaki on Stephen Crichton and Lomax. Yeah. So I think I said Latrell Mitchell earlier, but it'll be on Lomax and Crichton, and that's a shutdown edge because you throw Tom Dearden into that mix, and Val Holmes defending on the wing, which I think is his best position. Playing on the wing, that's a real shutdown edge. So big pressure in my mind on. Well, it was the edge that did the damage for New South Wales in game 2, and there was a try to To'o in game 1, but a lot of pressure on that left edge for New South Wales to unlock. A lot of pressure on Nathan Cleary and Isaiah to unlock that left edge and give Luai and Latrell Mitchell the time and space that they need because. And I mean, we sort of saw it in game 2. Like, yes, they scored some tries out on that edge, but Latrell Mitchell was nowhere near the attacking threat that he normally is because the Queenslanders rushed him, like really rushed him for most of that game.
A couple of quick hands out, but he still fluffed a couple of quick hands because he had to be too quick.
Yeah,
he had to be like even quicker than he already is with his hands and the way he moves and everything in between, which is kind of where we get to. Where do you think they need to improve on the second game, New South Wales, in order to conquest this Queensland outfit that's a lot bigger in size than the previous game?
Yeah, the obvious one's discipline. I mean, you give away 8 penalties in the first half and 10-2 for the game, I think it was. That you're not going to win a game doing that, and especially not turning the ball over in wet conditions as well and putting yourself under pressure. So I think the simple answer for New South Wales is hold the ball and don't give away penalties, and they've got enough firepower to beat Queensland. But I feel like this game is going to play out very similar to the way that we've previewed the other games. Is that
best not be rain?
Is
rain at that
well,
game.
a core stadium generally is a wet and slippery. It's just shit. It's the worst fucking stadium in. Anyway, sorry.
Allianz is.
I can't stand it.
Allianz has to be dug up for drainage. It's so bad at the minute.
Yeah. Did you see what they did to the British and Irish Lions last week? They watered. They put some extra water on the pitch, and Andy Farrell's all up in arms about it. For a team that says they've got no excuses, they were full of excuses on the weekend. Anyway, that's the sport you don't let me talk about. I think the discipline for New South Wales, like going set for set with Queensland, they've got too much strike power. Queensland want it to be a real dogfight, and they want that sort of broken up play. They want that they want that stop-start play, just so that New South Wales can't quite get on a roll, and that lets Queensland with their line speed and their physicality will give them that leg up if it is that sort of game to really dominate, particularly Payne Haas, who we spoke about as the big threat. But I think we spoke about it during game 2. God, they looked like Penrith, the way they were playing.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, and especially not at a core stadium in conditions that are going to be quite slippery, you just can't play like that in State of Origin, because when Penrith like to use their back rowers and their centres and create momentum that way, but the line speed from Queensland is just going to be too much, and you end up finding yourself in dead ends. Like, they've got to use the footy. They've got to make Queensland shift side to side on that slippery surface at a core stadium, I think, and ball control is going to be a big factor, and obviously, but shifting the ball doesn't necessarily need to be setting up for shape every single time. If you've got Angus Crichton on one and Jerome Luai on one side that can feed the ball nice and early to Latrell Mitchell, all you need is a couple of passes. It doesn't have to be shape set up. And then Latrell Mitchell, if he has a line that's retreating, he's going to get a quick play of the ball. And you can go back to the other side and have Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards and Stephen Crichton, that Penrith combination on the right edge where they did like to send the ball wide. Like, I think the centres for New South Wales are where they win this game, because that's the strike that New South Wales have. And if they get as much early ball as possible to those two, Queensland won't be able to handle it, because you've got a kid that's still in his first Origin series and first year of the NRL who hasn't really had the biggest challenge from Latrell Mitchell yet, because New South Wales are playing a little bit Penrith-like and playing those dinky shapes, which doesn't give Latrell Mitchell the early ball he needs to have an impact. And then on the other side, you've got a debutant who is going to be feeling the nerves, Shibasaki. Like, he's going to do a job, but if you put him under as much pressure as possible, put him and put that whole new combination to the test on the right-hand side from New South Wales, as well as giving Latrell Mitchell early ball, I think that's where they win it. But Queensland are going to want... Yeah, Queensland are going to want this to be a dogfight like what Game 1 was.
Yeah.
Game 2, sorry.
They've got to be utilising that little dink chip to Liam Martin, but put it right in that pocket between second row and centre, and make Shibasaki
turn them around
under pressure.
Yeah.
To catch that ball. Like, if you put it too far, the winger can come out, and we all know how good Val Holmes is in the air. If you can just get it just before and have Liam Martin, the absolute man-mountain himself, who's ruled himself out of the Ashes series, so that's one big thing, to come at the end of the year. That will be where they can win it, because he can win a tap-on, he can catch the ball, he can power himself over.
Get on your bed. Get on your bed.
Who says, what is it, don't work with children and animals or something?
Yep, I'm the child, that's the animal.
But yeah, I think that's where they target and where they can get him in the attacking scenarios. And defensively, there he is. Or she is, he.
It's a he, Raphael, named after the Ninja Turtle.
Raphael. Nice. Did they have any former dogs? Were they like Michelangelo and...
That's the next one.
Previously?
That's the next one. Yeah.
Name them all. Which one's going to call what?
Leonardo, Donatello, and isn't
What's
it just...
the rat called?
Isn't it Mr. Rat? No, Mr. Rat's from Bananas in Pyjamas.
I know I nearly said Roland Rat, but that's something different.
Rat from Ninja Turtles.
See, we've gone
Splinter.
off topic again towards the end.
Splinter.
There you go. So we've gone off topic towards the end, and finally, what is the score?
New South Wales by 8 points.
By 8.
It'll be 20-12, I think. I think it'll be like 14-12 with 5 minutes to go, and they'll score a late one. I think so. 20-12. I think the player of the match is going to be Payne Haas.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brian Toto scores the first try. I think Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow is Queensland's best player. I think I think it's really tight before half time, and there's an intercept from Stephen Crichton, like an early shift from Queensland, and an intercept from Stephen Crichton, which puts it out to a 14-6 lead at half time.
Okay.
And then an arm wrestle in the second half.
Really
Queensland score the first try of the second half off a break from Tom Dearden in the 51st minute. Tom Dearden will make a break running the ball and find the hammer on the inside. And then it'll be 14-12. And then I think a high kick to Zach Lomax in the corner to score the try that makes it 20-12, sorry, and win the game for New South Wales. And man of the series will be Payne Haas.
Man of the series is going to be Payne Haas. And who's going to be man of the current match?
Brian Toto. No, I said Payne Haas. Payne Haas will be man of the match.
Yeah, so you'd have to win it because then it'd be 3 man of the matches. So then you can pick.
Yeah.
There you go. You go. Well, I'll tell you what. If any
clip that up.
Right,
clip that up.
If any of them are that, all right, I'm clipping it up. So we've got it.
I think we should we also should mention obviously the news yesterday about Cameron Munster.
Yes. I was about to.
The passing of his father. I mean, and he said that he's going to play Origin, and there's been players that have done it before in all sports, losing a family member and then going out and playing. But thoughts obviously with Cameron Munster, and I don't. It's so, because it's so much more than football, and so like people have said it in the media today. Like this goes beyond football. Obviously, it's a person who's just lost their dad. But I think if looking at the game, if Queensland win this, Cameron Munster will become the greatest State of Origin player of all time. Because to go through that and then come back and captain your state, it just goes to show how big of a person he is, and how important he is to the game. So yeah, everyone, mine and your thoughts, and I know everyone in rugby league's thoughts with the Munster family.
Absolutely, and that's why I was going to say I think New South Wales will win by 2, but I do think he will get player of the series just because he won man of the match in the last one.
Yeah,
I think it'll be that close, and he'll have that much of a good game in memory of his father that's passed, and you know those people that have experienced that loss of a father or a mother or any parent, they know how it feels. I'm luckily, touch wood, I've not experienced that in my life, but I'm absolutely dreading the day it does.
You don't wish it on anyone.
No, so absolutely. Thoughts go to the Munster family. Great little way to end the Origin chat, and of course, like all things, there's also the passing of Diogo Jota at the weekend, the Liverpool player, which just last week, which just really shows that life's too short, guys.
Yeah.
Go out there and rest in peace, Diogo. Things go beyond sport. Things go beyond rivalries. Things in life just happen, and there's no real way to comprehend how the world works. Sometimes it just happens, and we've just got to, believe in each other, go out, enjoy everything we can, live every moment. If you've got that dream, go out, try and pursue it, try and make it happen, because you never know when it's going to come. And
I do think it shows and there's so many more important things in the world than sport.
We get roped into it.
There's wars around the planet. There's so, like, we're not going to get into it here. There's so many other things that go on in the world beyond sport, and at the end of the day, it's just a game that we watch, and I know it helps a lot of people through a lot of things, but I think it shows the power of sport that, like, 2 incredible losses over the last couple of days with Diogo, like you mentioned, and saw some footage from the League Cup, Club World Cup, where one of his close friends were playing, and you can see the emotion and obviously the emotions that we'll be going through Cameron Munster and his whole family. Like I can't imagine what the Munster family's going through, what the Jota family's going through, but it show that when something like this happens in the sporting world, it is a great community to be a part of in any capacity, because you see everybody come together. And there's some grim stuff that happens off the field, like players get abused and sent death threats online, but I think the good power that sport has definitely outweighs the bad.
Absolutely, and it's a great way to end the sporting chapter, I think, with them tributes to the two families. So, yeah, but we want to end on a high note, on a fun note on this podcast, as we always do. We went on tangents before. Have you done anything this week? Have you got any final thoughts on the matter, Sam?
Well,
I know I went to see the new Jurassic World film.
I'm going to see it on Friday. Is it good? Yeah. I've heard
unbelievably good.
Because the other Jurassic Worlds they left a little bit to be desired. I think, what was the last one called? Like when you've
Dominion?
When the OG cast come together in Dominion, I think that makes up for what was overall a terrible movie. But I've heard some people say that this latest one shows that there's still a little bit of life left in the Jurassic Park franchise, which,
mate, it's literally it's called Jurassic World Reborn. It is reborn the franchise. It is. It's made dinosaurs scary again.
Yeah, they had all the tools when they started Jurassic World, and when they ended up with the dinosaurs on land in the US, like that. The ultimate, it's so hard to mess up a movie where dinosaurs and humans live alongside each other. Right. Like that is the easiest fodder for any film director ever to make an awesome action movie. But they bottled it so badly. They bottled it so bad. Like we were talking about The Walking Dead last week or a couple of weeks ago. It could be like The Walking Dead but dinosaurs. Like turn it into a survival, but no. They had to ruin it with conservation groups trying to protect them. Like, oh my god. Anyway, I'm very excited for that.
I haven't to know that they're back living on islands in this one.
Okay, that's all right then.
They've now been eradicated in mainland.
I want them to take over the world. I so badly want dinosaurs to be real.
Honest God, it was so scary. I literally jumped at certain points. I was like, whoa.
Really? Oh my! I'm so pumped. What have I done this week? It's only Monday. I went
last week. You've had a week off.
Yeah.
Podcast, so
yeah.
You've got about 10 days to catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything poignant?
I've done a lot of fishing in the last couple of days, which has been fun. I had
keep it exciting.
I had a golf day actually on the Friday after we did the last podcast. For a great charity. That
Is this
helps.
the one where you do golf all day?
Yep.
Because my mate did that 4 rounds of golf.
Yeah. It was a great charity day, where to raise money. I think we ended up raising 48 or 50, somewhere close to 50,000 for a charity that helps kids in the bush. Kids in the bush that are living with cancer. It gives them homes and transport to the city and stuff for their treatment. So that was a great day. But Sam Thaiday was there.
Nice.
Yeah, and he told me he told me he didn't like me because I only put in the notes, because I work with the MC for the gig, and Sam Thaiday was one of the guest speakers, and I did the notes up for the MC, and I only put in the notes Sam Thaiday's loss to Justin Hodges in the boxing ring. I didn't put his wins in there, and then he grabbed me afterwards and was like, he was only joking, just like Sam Thaiday does, like he's a joker, but was like, can't believe you didn't put my wins in there, like what's going on? I'm like, I just feel like it's funnier. I mean, you're sitting there next to Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao and fought Terence Crawford, and nearly fought Terence Crawford twice, and you lost to Justin Hodges. So that's why it's funny. And he's like, yeah. So that was a bit of fun. I think I wasted my final thoughts at the start when I was talking about Oasis. Like, I'm so seeing it's real now. Like, they're on stage together. It's real now. I did have a debate with somebody at work today when we were talking about it and how we were going to cover the fact that they were back on stage, and they're like, "You're going, aren't you, Sam?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "How much did you spend on it?" Well, I was like, "Well, you throw in the flights, the tickets, the accommodation, and then whatever I'm going to spend when I'm down there,
it's about $2,500.
It's probably going to get to $2,500." And they're like, "Are you insane? You wonder why you never get..." And then you get this from...
You wonder why you never get what?
You get this from the millennials, where they're like, "Oh, you wonder why you're never going to be able to buy a house." Not millennials, Gen X's, Gen X. I don't know.
X's, yeah, I'm a millennial.
Yeah, and boomers. But you wonder why you're never going to be able to buy a house. And it's like, guess what? I don't care, because unlike you, I'm not living where I can buy a house for $19, and also I am not going to give up on fun experiences where you also would have been able to fly to Melbourne and see Oasis and pay for a weekend of piss for about $25 for the entire weekend.
Yeah, literally.
I'm just because your generation ruined it for the rest of us doesn't mean that I'm going to miss out. So, But yeah, I'll never buy a house.
Mate.
I'll never buy a house.
Mate, no one can afford to at the minute. Unless there's about 4 of you.
Yeah.
Clubbed together.
Yeah, in one room.
That'll just be chaos.
Yeah.
But, man, I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be
November.
so...
I've got that. I've got Sam Fender the week after in Melbourne.
Is Sam Fender coming out too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Melbourne's
awesome.
already sold out.
That's awesome.
So I've got... Because the Oasis are in Melbourne on the 2nd? No, 31st and 1st?
Yeah, of October. It's the last weekend of October, and then they go to
31st
Sydney.
of October, 1st of November, because then I'm going to the Saturday the 8th.
Yeah.
Or Saturday the 9th. No, 8th of November, because my birthday's the Wednesday, and then Sam Fender's the Friday in Melbourne.
Yep.
So that's going to be an absolute unbelievable week. I may well go down early and do a bit of a road trip.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's a good road trip between Sydney and Melbourne. You can go across all the south coast, like Bateman's Bay and all those sort of areas. Fingal.
It'll be nice weather then as well.
Fingal, there's some beautiful spots along there. So, hey, go and see the world, Johnny Lewis.
Then.
Yeah.
So, mate, literally, single life of no carefree
life.
I've literally even bought 1 ticket for this one. I bought 2 for Oasis because I was like, I'll flog one or I'll find one of my mates to go.
Yeah.
And I ended up finding one of my workmates who was like, "Mate, I will have that ticket.
I'll cut off my arm."
I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
He was like, "I tried to get tickets, I couldn't. Can I have it?" And I went, "Yes, Kyle, you can have it." So he's going with me. We're going to the Olympic Park. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable. I'm genuinely going to cry when I'm there, by the way.
Yeah, I saw some videos of...
I'm going to cry.
I saw some videos of people crying, and I showed my girlfriend. I was like, "This is going to be me," and she was like,
"It's sad."
God, what is it with men?
Are you going by yourself as well?
No. I'm going with a mate. I'm going with a mate.
I was gonna say.
I would go.
I'm going by myself to Melbourne.
I'd go by myself. Honestly, if no one else wanted to go, I'd go by myself.
Well, I am with Sam Fender.
I've got a mate from Manchester who is obviously a massive Oasis fan. Yes. Who's out here. He's a United fan, so I thought I'd gift him. I thought I'd gift him with an Oasis ticket because it's obviously been a tough year for him.
It's been a tough year.
It's been a tough couple of years.
Tough few years.
I'm a Leicester fan, so it doesn't.
I mean, you've only had one good year in your lifetime.
Yeah, still more trophies than Tottenham.
No, they won the Europa League last year.
Sorry, league trophies.
League trophies.
Yeah. BTEC Europe trophies. Well, BTEC Europe trophies don't save people's jobs.
You're the same as Blackburn Rovers, so.
Thank you.
You know.
I appreciate that. Did you see? I saw Fulham's like TikTok admin posted a video from Sabrina Carpenter. I think Plymouth did it as well. Like they were like, nobody in this crowd knows that I'm the Fulham social media admin. And was at a Sabrina Carpenter concert.
That's class. That's unbelievable. So, oh god, but yeah, I'm just waiting for United to do like an Australia pre-season tour 1 year while I'm here, and then I might go to a game
and lose to Newcastle
see
United.
A lot of youngsters running about on the pitch. I think Wrexham are here this week.
Yeah, they are.
The Allianz.
Yeah, I think they're playing Wanderers.
They're playing Sydney FC, I think.
Melbourne Victory on Friday, and then you're right, Sydney FC on Tuesday.
It's at the Allianz.
Yeah, Wellington Phoenix, and then next play in August. I'd love to see Wrexham in the Premier League. Just completely different sporting note, but I mean,
it'd be a good.
They're on the up.
That you can just
they're
put
on the up.
Money in, and you can be in the Prem.
Yeah, be alright to see them and Birmingham go up. Maybe Birmingham City go up next year.
Yeah, I've still only they've got Tom Brady on there.
Tom Brady's on there. Yeah.
I'm still only on season 2, episode 3 of
Welcome to Wrexham. Yeah.
Aren't they on like season 4 now or season 5? Well and truly in on it. I just watched Sunderland Till You Die, the 3rd series.
Yeah.
The other last month, I think. That was good to watch. And I've not watched any more documentaries since our last pod as well. So.
One of my new favourite things is watching those videos of guys in like Sunday League football in the US that play with a GoPro on their head. I'm just like, and they never show their face either. But I'm just imagining it, just like they would just get bullied so hard for wearing a GoPro on the pitch.
Yeah,
it's just.
I also can't get over how expensive to get involved with junior football in Australia.
Oh, you wonder why the sport's dying.
It's something like $400 for like rugby league yearly membership, and or AFL or whatever.
Yeah.
And yet it's like $2,500 a term for like the football side. It's like you've just gone completely from the roots of football and the working class, man. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like and the other thing is like our top league is dying because you get paid more for being semi-professional, like playing in NPL as opposed to playing A League, which is just unbelievable to me. And then
they go to Europe.
Yeah.
If they're good.
Well, that's what the A League wanted to, or Football Australia wanted to turn the A League into like
a feeder.
And like the likes of Aaron Kunda go to Bayern Munich, and I think Joe Gauci went to West Ham. Like there's Harry Suter ended up with them. Harry Suter ended up with a massive deal. Like there's a few that have gone over before.
Didn't he go Norwich?
But and I think he's at Norwich now. He was at Leicester, and then ended up going to he wasn't getting any minutes, but but they're just not using the money. They just don't use the money. But anyway, it's a dying sport out here. But as long as this is good news. A League on Stan Sport. A League on Stan. Not A League. Premier League on Stan Sport. Like Nine bought the rights to Nine bought the rights to the Premier League. So I already have Stan.
So it's not on Optus anymore.
No, I already have Stan Sport. So like for the tennis and rugby.
Yeah, Stan is
and boxing.
KO as well.
No, Stan's 9.
No, that's Binge, isn't it?
Binge is KO. Yeah.
Stan, yeah.
So it'll be good to have it'll be good to just have all the sports that you watch on a couple of streaming services instead of having to go across like 15.
Yeah. Exactly that. But I'm gonna wrap up this episode because
sorry, we're ranting.
I'm getting a phone call. And we're ranting. So this has been the Rugby League POMcast. I've also got another podcast to record in like 10 minutes, and I really need to grab a bite to eat, otherwise I'm going to be dying. Right. But this has been the Rugby League POMcast.
The dog's giving us the wrap up
too. This
has
been Johnny, he's been Sammy, and the dog is Michelangelo? No. Leonardo? No?
Raph. Raphael. Oi! Shut up.
No, Raphael. And this has been us. See ya and catch you next week.